I wanted to go through this track and kind of talk through the whole process of how it ended up being 6 minutes, because it's pretty long. It's a pretty long track. I started working on it in February, I think, and worked on it off and on. A bunch of sad things happened during that period of time, so I was off of my computer for a while. Yeah, we ended up releasing it a couple of weeks ago. I had sent a message to Maxo asking if they wanted to do a solo on a track, and that then translated to me sending it to them finishing it in a day and a half, and then me releasing it the same day that they sent me the solo. So it was a very quick turnaround. And Max is a genius. Fully, truly, all the way down. Okay. This whole track started from me playing with Omnisphere. So if we look at Omnisphere here, this is specifically a preset that I found going through a Google Drive doc that kind of does a breakdown of all of the VSTs and samples that are used in game soundtracks. So this was me going through Omnisphere, looking at the Hygiene, looking at the Tears of the Kingdom presets. And so Crush Tone Keys, I customized this a little bit. Whatever that weird little motif in the shrine, the shrines is, that is this exact instrument. Let me know if the audio is good at all, or the balance is nice. So I started with this, and I was messing around with it. Something like that. I knew that I couldn't have it be the exact exact preset. So I paired it with this other Omnisphere Omnisphere preset, tremolo piano. And together they sound like this. Wow. I added a bit of delay on the Tears of the Kingdom preset. You can also hear a crackly sound, and that crackly sound is not an accident. It is on purpose. It is this keyboard's direct signal that I really cranked up, because it felt like it added a bit of grain and texture. So the way we get brought in, apologies if this is, let me know if this is way too loud. So we get this sound here. And that is, again, this keyboard playing a chord of some kind. I don't remember. I think it's just a half step, but then I reversed it to get a nice build up. My trick for reverse is that you never want to go for the initial hit, or like the very edge of the hit. I wouldn't say never, but like most of the time I am trying to avoid this part because it is too hard and it is like too has like too much of a reverse attack on it. So if I get it to a point where I think I'm also turning it up a ton. Yeah. I want to control it. Anyway, there's so many tracks. 52, you know. Okay, so then let's bring in the drums and the bass. So there are a couple of things that I wanted to focus on. First of all, this track is about me having fun. So I wanted to have fun making this song. And so again, I was messing around with Omnisphere presets. And this is, this one is just so juicy and kind of crunchy. This is Magic Wheelbase, which I believe, and this was only after I wrote this, but I was watching a Magdalena Bay production stream, and they used this exact Omnisphere preset in one of their tracks too. So I was like, I'm doing something right. Magdalena Bay, they are like, they in their tracks though, they have like 120 130 tracks going, and they're a bit wild for that. With that bass, I played it out. I wanted to play that like I want to how do I say this? Like, I feel like I for a while I lost like putting myself into pieces, into tracks, into music, and so I really wanted to get back to like actually playing a lot of the things, because I have been playing these instruments for so long, and I want to play them. So in order to have fun, I played most of these parts, and then obviously edited them pretty heavily. Let's look at the drums. So my drums are pretty nuts most of the time. There's a lot going on. I want to make sure that... Okay, cool. So I can bring it up. So if we look at this, this is my shaker, Skaka. Again, it is my favorite plugin of all time. Skaka is the best money can buy for a shaker plugin. I can go in and customize a bunch of different patterns, and layer things. So a lot of the time I'm just like hanging out, getting these patterns nice and cool. You can see I have a length 3 pattern, and I also have a length 5 pattern, because once you put those together, then we get kind of a polymetered pattern happening. So the drums. This part was just so fun to write. I love this. What is it called? I have basically a stack. Yeah, with toms, I really like to make them super dry to get really precise rhythms. I'm a reformed percussionist. That's like how I started. Was I was in drum lessons from a very early age, and then kind of moved into piano. But my dad was a percussionist. My brother is a percussionist. Anyway, let's listen to this section. So a couple of cool things. I recorded this rhythm on this keyboard here. And I was like, I can record that live. And it ended up being not exact enough for my taste. I think a lot of my music is hyper real. So it's like the hyper realism of instruments, where a lot of it is more grounded sounds, but it is sometimes extremely precise. And that's the way I like it. So anyway, this layers. Oh yeah, that's right. Did some freaky stuff to this. I've got a pitch changer on there. And you get some crispies that I don't necessarily like, but you can't hear them in the mix. But yeah, that like weird, kind of a shrieky sound. And then again, we get this riser. Sounds pretty neat. So then we get into this main section here. Where's the melody? Something that a relationship that I really liked recently is the fifth and the minor sixth together. So if this piece is in the key of B flat, then the F and G flat, slamming that together sounds really good to me. Okay, that's not a good example. I could find a better. That sound. And in this case, we've got kind of a cascades through. This is another Tears of the Kingdom preset, if you can believe it, that I added quite a bit of effects to. Just the simply dreamy piano again. So this piece is very dramatic. It's it has a lot of like thematic contrast happening, putting us through a journey. So here we go. Here's our main melody. Before we get to that wild section. So if you've listened to my stuff before, and I'm guessing all of you have, I really like to layer unison and octave unison to show progression, show development, instead of trying to add new material in order to like honor the existing material. It's just to iterate upon it and makes slight changes. It's kind of borrowed from the practice of minimalistic composition. But I do this with my bass. I do this with my melodies. First, we get this Omnisphere. I don't remember what this is. Mini Student Butterfly Piano. It's Keyscape. Has this really crunchy texture right up front on the attack, so it adds this really cool attack. Got a delay on this. So then if we fast forward, I add, this is an octave double, and then I also add some strings. So these are pretty obviously fake strings. These are the swam string sections. So swam, swam, however you want to say it. But I've gotten a lot of practice with these, and specifically their automation. So like if we look at this expression automation, this is not what I would do for like a really if I was doing some real scoring, I would probably have a bit more attention to detail and less broad strokes. But even this sounds pretty nice. I wanted this airy texture to them. And then we get into tremolo here. So Swam also has like really nice slide sound, and one of my favorite sounds, one of my favorite sounds from any string instrument is the slide. It's like a true glissando that not a whole lot of instruments can do outside of the strings. So we get this build up here. It gets a bit more jazzy, I believe. Like I go into, I believe, like a D major 7 sharp 11, in the key of, fretless piano. I think that's the Rolly Seaboard, which is way too expensive. Yes, so we start in the key of B flat minor, and in this second section we end up in kind of a weird D Lydian space that feels pretty cool. Okay, let's get to this more wild section. Uh-oh. We're losing processing power. One moment. I have to lower the quality of this stream. Oh no! My stream is dying. Output. Let's do a much smaller buffer here. Okay. Hopefully that works. So in this section, things are going pretty wild. I was really inspired by a lot of Snarky Puppy sections, you know, especially when they're, there's one of their tracks. I can't remember the title of it. But the rhythm section is just going off while the rest of the ensemble takes a back seat and then they get brought back in. So we get this emphasis on ba 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 ba, really hitting those offbeats, which kind of sets us up for the hook in the chorus, which I am still a pretty dang big fan of. I still love it. It's a banger. I introduce more strings. I also introduce, oh, that's the guitar. Oh, here we go. A swam trumpet with a mute. So there's a ton of folks hanging out on that melody. Yeah, Em, you're the one who introduced it to me. And we get some matching up in our bass. I think that might be it. I tried to bring them all together. So then it breaks off into this kind of counter pattern where we're playing that melody but legato instead of staccato, and then we also add ba-da-da-da. Let's not have this totally die. So we get this, I don't know, it makes it feel a bit bigger. If I could, you know, a part of me really wanted, you know, really wanted it to be even, like, make that section longer, or like hear that melody more. I think if I were to take it in a different direction, I probably would have developed that specific chorus melody a bit more. But anyway. All right, so this was where I had no idea what I was gonna do next, if you can believe it. I was like, okay, kind of get a recap of the melody from before, but over kind of this drone. Okay, so here, I think I was stuck here for like a month. I was like, don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna step away. At first I was like, you know what, let's give Max a 1.5 minute long solo, or like a 2 minute long solo. But But the Tides of Fate took us a different direction. I really love this chord, which I believe has a portal on it. I love this plugin. Gives some really nice glitchy sounds. So then we kind of get into this like drum and bass, total new introduction, an introduction of an entirely new melody, which I think I was just hanging out on piano. Or whatever it is. I don't even remember what it is. But I was hanging out on this. That sound, which I really, really loved. And so, you know what? We're halfway through the track. Might as well introduce a whole new melody. Okay, so we've got a couple of things making this feel way more expansive. This Omnisphere, oh, isn't that nice? Just giving us some good atmosphere. Nautilus Caves, and then also a Serum 2 preset. And this is the only time I use Serum 2 in this. Making these really nice sparklies. The other thing is, like I said in Portal, this is the exact same piano part from above, but I put it on this affected channel. So it, you know, makes it sound kind of otherworldly. And again, another Portal preset. I believe it's the same one that I messed with. And I put it on this, which gives us these, I don't know, weird echoes. Feels like we're traveling through some sort of portal. All right, and here comes Max. So I had written this whole section before sending it to Max. And where is their stuff? They gave me the MIDI, and I just so happened to have the correct presets. Yeah, that goes off. First time I heard that, I went, nuts. Yeah, I did put some layering in here. I believe this is another one that I picked. Which is an anomaly vital preset. So we get a whole lot of cool sounds happening. Oh, that's what was missing. I've had this guy going a lot of the time, doing a drone. Anyway, so we get a bunch of really cool harmonic decisions by Max in this latter bit. Meanwhile, this whole section is really building up. Spending a lot of time. I don't know, what is it, 16 bars, 8 bars? I don't remember. I wanted to have like the snare feel like it was cracking into the earth. And then we slowly introduce these elements from earlier, because this section is basically the analog of the earlier percussion focused section. So it like kind of takes its place if we were to like copy and paste the structure and then switch things out. Because then the key to a good like last build, like big climax, put like 3 extra beats in, you know, wherever people think the downbeat is going to be, remove that and give them a little spook. I also love how this sort of rise scream turned out. So with Max's additions, I had to do a whole lot of panning magic, because otherwise I was like, oh, we're gonna lose so much. Some of this was on the right in the original section, so we changed it up. Max in our right ear, the main melody in our left ear. There's one specific moment that gives me chills every time in Max's part. Here we go. So this rise here kills me. Oh, beautiful. Otherwise, this whole section is like pretty much copy and pasted. And thankfully, Max came in and made it feel new again. So there's one change in this section here, and that is our quintuplets over here. Instead of we go up. Wow. Okay, so we get this big climax here, just a full restatement of our hook, which feels very satisfying. And I knew I didn't want to end it right there. Felt like there was more to put into this, and so to like really wrap up the development on the melody, and so this doesn't have any tempo to it. This is just me playing. I probably touched it up a little bit. This part I feel like is an emotional core. Like this is like the juicy center of the entire piece right here. This little turnaround. So I had originally just had this as piano with some atmosphere, and I added our strings back in, really quiet. Exactly. Yeah, it is the consonants that's we've been really waiting for this whole time. A lot of my compositional philosophy is derived from you can't have beauty without pain, and this is surely not like excruciating. It's a fun jam, but there's nothing like too ooey gooey wholesome, and so it felt deserved to really get this emotional sort of reflective moment. So again, I bring back, I'll say why I was laughing in a second. I bring back the feedback from my keys from the beginning. I also have just discovered basilisk beepyun, and I don't know what that is. Oh. Exactly. I think, I mean, if I could soapbox for a moment, I think something that people forget is context, and context making moments feel more special than they would be without it. And, you know, it seems obvious, but I think this ending, if it was by itself, would, you know, it'd sound pretty, but it doesn't have any meaning behind it. I think putting people through an experience to then have this moment, like, is so much more rewarding to hear than just being dropped right into it. I think, like, obviously not all music, not all art has to be this way. I'm not saying that. But I think art and music feel most rewarding to me when like the listener feels that there's like a history behind a part. So my goal is to like make everything sound like it has existed within this piece for, you know, time immemorial. And you know, it works off and on. But yeah, I think context and contrast, like a moment is really impactful because of the moment that came before and the moment that came after it, not necessarily just that moment. So that's why in composition I think about structure so much. The structure is pretty much the thing that's on my mind the entire time. Is where does this fit? How does this fit into like this grander narrative that I'm constructing? Because it's not just one part; it's every part that makes something feel successful and move someone. Right? If we want to move someone, it's not just that one thing. It is the consolidation of all the things that came before into that moment. Yeah, I just really want to evoke a response, a reaction in someone's heart. And I think this does it pretty well. It certainly does that to me when I listen to it and I listen to the whole track. It is over 6 minutes long, so it's a bit of a time investment. But it was like the one way that I could really honor all of the material from before. And again, that is something that I think about a lot too, is honoring whatever I wrote. And you don't need to write a whole lot initially to honor what you write there. When you honor something, it also, makes it part of that entire thing. I don't know. I'm unraveling a bit, but don't try to make something too complicated, I think is the moral of the story. Make it start simple, and then you can keep iterating and iterating and iterating. And it sounds complex, and it sounds careful and thoughtful, and it sounds like it has a history. Everyone should turn out like Max, as they say. Anyway, yeah, this is the track. I think it I'm really happy with it. It's obviously, this project file is a mess. But yeah. Okay. Bye, Max. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Go listen to the track. Go buy it if you haven't. Yeah, if you have any questions about any specific part of this or any of the plugins or instruments that I'm using that I didn't talk about, let me know. Exactly. The best project files are always a mess. And it's always, you get to the brink of getting extremely overwhelmed, and then you're like, I have to finish this. And you go in and you finish it screaming and everything's on fire. That's what makes it an experience. Anyway. All right. See y'all.